I'll be interested to see if I can tell much difference in the engine difference with the 111 versus the 116. The forums I'm on, people are all over the place whether they think they could tell a big difference or not. I don't tend to be a crazy fast rider, so I probably no big deal. Now my Super Chief, I removed the word Indian and I put an Indian Chief. I saw some people put them on the saddlebags down here. They looked really cool. I'm not sure I'm going to do that though. Alright. Hey, another difference I want to note on this bike. When I test drove an Indian Super Chief Limited on Indian Rider days, and I was still a newer rider, even though I had miles under my Scout, that was the first time I had ridden a bike other than my Scout coming out of the training courses, so I was really nervous. And there's a video I posted, an embarrassing video, where I left the kickstand down and a Virginia State Trooper pulled me over because it was making sparks. And, this mirror keeps moving. So, some people in the forums were like, well, it was just that bike. And I'm like, no, it wasn't that bike. My bike will let you start the bike in first with the kickstand down. It'll let you pull off with the kickstand down. And Indian, I did a recall, and in it, I'm pretty sure it was my video that was cited. I guess one guy made a claim, and he cited my video, and that ended up in the NTSB bulletin. And this bike works as it should. I think you have to have it in neutral to start it with the kickstand down. I think it'll start in first with the kickstand up, but if you put the kickstand down, the bike cuts off. And that's how it's supposed to work. Indian did a recall, but all they did was something where I've never had this happen to me again, because now I'm aware and on top of it. But if you leave the kickstand down on the Super Chief that I have and then you try to pull off, it's supposed to pop up on its own. I haven't tested it since they did the recall. This bike works the way it should. Guys want to hear it start up? Oh, it also has the 3 drive modes. I keep it in standard most of the time. It shows you the gas range. That's the odometer. That's trip 1, trip 2, RPMs, battery, ambient temperature, miles per gallon. And getting back to the range. And this is fuel up here as well. I think this left mirror has got an issue. It needs to be tightened or something. Yeah, I like this. I can feel some subtle differences in the engine. Maybe if I had even more experience, I'd be more picky, but to me, this is and I'm sure if I put it in sport mode, I found sport mode is just way too jumpy on my Super Chief. Standard was just the sweet spot for me. Touring was too slow of a reaction. I did have to change my clutch because you'd barely let it out and the bike would jump, and I wanted a little more smooth, so I adjusted that. This seems actually that Super Chief, you know, I did some stuff to the Scout too. I'm trying to remember, that Super Chief might have been, you had to let it out real far before anything happened. I think that was actually the problem, rather than it being nice and smooth. And it made it really hard to do slow speed maneuvers. Some people have put highway pegs on the bar so that you can rest your foot. I guess you could also get soft lowers. I've bought all this stuff on my Super Chief, and didn't really want to spend all the money to put it on another bike. I could transfer some of the things, but that's more trouble than it's worth. And I might ride both bikes. This one's going to get all the attention soon, in the near future. I have to look down a little differently to see the info, whereas the Super Chief, it's kind of up here. You know, I like to use, I don't need to watch the gears necessarily, but on the sound, if you can't hear your own pipes, it makes it hard to hear, and especially if you start playing music. And I got little foam earplugs in. So that's one problem I do not have on my Super Chief. I can hear those pipes. And if I, for some reason, forget the earplugs, man, it's ear piercing, which made me realize that people around me are probably annoyed to all hell. But I thought the Scout and the Super Chief both sounded like lawnmowers. And I know there's a whole debate about whether pipes helps save lives or not. It can hurt, right? That's my view, that it, you know, if that's what it takes for somebody to see or hear you, everybody's different. It certainly can't hurt, but it could annoy people. And I have found, like, I got behind somebody that had loud pipes that I was riding behind. I didn't know them. But man, after a while, it was so annoying being behind their bike. I imagine on the group ride, I don't know if that's an issue. I don't know if I'm going to order the Freedom Shield. Probably need to get in a parking lot and just kind of test the brakes, get the feel for this bike. The slow speed maneuvers are going to be a difference because it's heavier. My other bikes didn't have rear crash guards. I installed highway bars on the front. And because the roads are still wet from all this rain, I don't want to get too crazy out here today. Looked like the tire tread was fine on both tires. I checked them. This is an air-cooled bike, so I have seen some complaints that it gets hot, especially it's sitting in traffic. I had the same issue with my Super Chief Limited. That's air-cooled. This horn is pathetic. AA MCO. I switched out on my Scout and the Super Chief a air horn, I guess it is, off Revzilla. The first time, you know, you're supposed to attach it at the highway bar. And man, we were having trouble because the highway bar was already on there nice and tight and in a tight spot to begin with. We ended up paying somebody to bring us across the finish line. The dealer was nice enough when I had it up there for some other stuff. They threw that on. for a charge, of course. Some of the stuff I try to do on my own. Some of it I'm afraid I'll do more harm, so I don't mind paying. Have it done quickly. I tell you, I think it feels really good to me. I'm not wearing any heated gear out here today. And it's when it starts getting 50, I kind of wish I did have at least the jacket. I didn't put on any long johns or anything on my under the riding pants either. One of the things said it was 70 degrees out here. Sure didn't feel like it. And bike is saying now it's 55, which feels more accurate. The Super Chief has a digital speedometer. This does not. There's another reason I kind of liked it. I kind of found I wanted the heritage sort of look, the traditional. This bike also has a larger gas tank. The Super Chief is 4 gallons. This is, I think, 5.5. Now, with it, because this bike weighs more, I don't know if it's going to be the same miles I end up going. I'm going to wait. I don't know if that's going to mean the same miles I end up going between fill-ups. Looks like with the trip meter, this prior owner wasn't changing it because trip A and trip 2 look the same. So what I'm going to do is when I fill up, I immediately reset one of the trip meters and just track when I need to fill up by that, rather than rely on these gauges that tend to be unreliable. These country roads back here do have some potholes, and people that, because there's no line, and even if there was, people out here, you come around the turn and 3/4 of their car will be in your lane. Now the other thing, I think this bike has better shocks than my Super Chief, and they're adjustable. I'm glad he was in a fence. They're adjustable. So I'll have to read up on how to do that.